On 88.5 FM, KALA Davenport, Quad Cities. I'm David Baker, and we've caught up with George Thorogood, who's ready to perform live here in the Quad Cities at the 30th Annual Mississippi Valley Blues Festival. George, thanks for being with us.
David.
Hey. Tell us about the busy summer you got coming up. Looks like you're going to be on tour quite a bit.
We're making a few stops.
You got a few tour dates in mind. Can you tell me a little bit about touring with the Stones? I was thinking about that. I've been in radio for a few years, and I'm dating myself now, but I remember you were one of the opening acts along with Jay Giles and Magic Dick and Peter Wolf with the Jay Giles Band, and there was George Thorogood and the Destroyers also opening for the Stones back in that 81 Tattoo You tour. What was that like?
Well, it was a day-to-day thing, to tell you the truth, David. It really wasn't a lined-up tour. I was getting ready to go to Australia, and I was talking to our booking agent. I found out the Stones were touring again. And I said, listen, I want you to get me on one of those shows. I've been watching the Stones, and in 75 and 78, I didn't get a chance to play with them. And the roots of our music are identical to the Stones. They taught me to pay attention to people like Robert Johnson, Howling Wolf, and Muddy Waters, and Bo Diddley, and Chuck Berry, and the like. And I built my style in guitar playing on that type of music, and that was their background as well. So I didn't realize in the time that doesn't mean anything to promoters. That doesn't mean anything to the artist. They want another act on the show that has sold a lot of records, but hasn't sold as much as the Stones. I didn't realize this at the time, so I said, okay, just get me a gig, one, because I want to work with that band, because they were, my favorite band. Not to mention that I was a little miffed that I never got asked before. After all, we do play hard rock, rhythm, and blues type music like the Stones used to.
Sure.
So when I was in Australia, we got the word that we got a gig with them. We did the gig. Bill Graham liked what he saw, hired us to play the next day. I didn't even shower yet. I came off the stage in Philly. He said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" I said, "I have no plans tomorrow. Can you get to Buffalo by tomorrow?" See what I'm saying? That's how it went. Like a rookie that gets a couple of hits in the batting lineup. And so they put him in the next day. Then he gets a couple more hits, they keep him in the next day. That's pretty much how it was with us. It was pretty much we were hired on a day-to-day basis when we were in the States. Now, when they went back to Europe, the following year, we were contacted. And we actually had to turn down a few dates that they wanted us for because we were doing other things.
You were getting busier, yeah.
Yeah, so it wasn't really touring as much as it was just kind of get your bat kid, you're up.
Right.
That kind of thing.
You mentioned about who musically inspired you. Is there anybody right now that musically is turning you on that's out there in the current industry?
Turning me on?
Yeah, musically.
Is Paul McCartney still active?
Yeah, he sure is.
How about Bob Dylan?
Yeah.
How about the Stones?
Sure.
Okay. There's people turning me on.
Anybody that you'd like to collaborate with? You rattled off a couple of names, but is there anybody that would be a dream artist if they wanted to contact you or you wanted to contact them and work on a project?
I don't think I'm in a league to do anything with McCartney. I did open a show for Bob Dylan, and of course I did all those dates with the Rolling Stones. Politically or whatever you want to call it, business-wise, I don't know what kind of business he's doing, but relatively new to the scene is Gary Clark Jr., who's outstanding.
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe one show with him might be interesting.
Yeah.
But as far as, how do you mean collaborate? Like
collaborate,
together, make an album together?
Yeah, work together, make an album, or do maybe a couple of gigs with, something like that.
I said I did a gig with Dylan. I did with the Stones. I played with Jay Giles. I tried to. I've worked a lot with Steve Miller. We tried to get a gig with Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, but his schedule and mine were kind of conflicting at the time, so we couldn't pull that off. But a lot of people I'm interested in have long disbanded. I mean, it's not the original Animals anymore. It's not the original Steppenwolf.
Mm-hmm.
So the pickings are slim for me.
Well, you're coming to the Quad Cities, and you'll be here July 4th, the headline act at 11 p.m. Main stage, where it's high and dry. We've got a flood going on here, but you're still going to perform on 2nd Street, Davenport, Iowa, and you've been here in the Quad Cities before. It's been a few years, and you've been around the Quad Cities performing. What can the fans expect from a live performance?
Well, I hope a good one, I hope, if I get enough rest.
Okay. Well, we'll let you get some rest, and I know you've got a busy day ahead with a concert July 3rd, and we'll see you July 4th here in the Quad Cities.
Rock and roll never sleeps, it just passes out.
That's right. George Thorogood, thanks for being with us on KALA.